Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I hope you are all doing well, staying healthy, and staying sane. What are you up to? I tell you what, I've had time to do a lot of video editing, continue working on that. I have made pickles, I have made a couple jars of sauerkraut, made yogurt, homemade yogurt, and working on making potato chip type things, frying up potato chip with taro root and a number of different types of vegetables here today. And oh man, I'm addicted. They do taste good, homemade. Uh, anyway, this is a trip. My friend, since I'm not allowed outdoors, being over 65, my friend has my camera and is taking a trip to Landers since there is no. And little places like this, the little sari stores, the convenience stores, even several 7-Elevens are closed even. The dentists are closed. One thing I was going to do one day was go see a dentist. No such luck with social distancing. Anyway, it was time to run over to Landers, which is similar to a Costco. It is a membership type club. I think it cost me 700 pesos, about 14 US dollars to join for a year. We have an S&R here in town as well. They're again patterned after Costco. And one nice thing I did find out that Landers has deliveries, although their site says that their their deliveries are not on any particular schedule with the fewer employees and the number of checkpoints, all that type of thing. So next time I will try to order online and have it delivered, although a number of things that I was looking for are not listed on their site, whereas she was able to go in and find them. Was able to find a large, I think about 3 pound container of Kirkland coffee, the Costco brand of coffee. And I like the taste of that. It's pretty good. And for just under 800 pesos for that, about 16 US dollars, less than 16. Found some Canadian pumpkin seeds that I like so well, organic, and just less than I think it was less than 700 pesos, 6.99, so about $14, something like that. But a very large bag that will last. I think the last one I still have some left. It's been here at least 3 months, I believe. And this is walking over towards Ayala. That's some of the commercial buildings over by Ayala. The Cebu Business District, CBD, Cebu Business District, includes, it's a large area that includes the Ayala Mall, as well as quite a few commercial buildings, corporate buildings, quite a few condominium buildings, Solinia, and a number of others. I've done videos about a few of those, and there are a lot of them there. Many that I have not done videos about. Apple One there is right next to Ayala Mall as well, and this whole area continues to build out with more and more retail spaces going in. With the present situation, very little traffic, very few people walking. And there is Rustin's and Ayala Mall just to the left. Rustin's is a grocery store and supermarket, also a department store. They've got clothing and shoes and lots of other things as well. They don't have a hardware store, whereas you'll see in a little bit around the other side of the building, the Ayala Mall has a Metro Center that also has a furniture store at the bottom level. They've just opened that up recently. A furniture store and hardware type store area. Pretty a nice area. But those areas would be closed during the present situation. Only the grocery stores are open. And coming up here, I think this is City Sports, right up here on the right. And my friend knows the security agent there. She works in the security industry, and she knows the agent there. They're all closed up. So she gets about a month off. How about that? She asked him whether he knew, because he had told her about a bike store being open a week or two ago, I think. And he said, no, that store was no longer open. Perhaps they've sold all the bikes, because you're allowed to walk or to bicycle, or if you have a private vehicle, you can drive that private vehicle. But of course, most of us do not have the private vehicle. And even then, you're not allowed to cross the city boundary unless you have a special pass to cross, for instance, from Cebu City to Mandaue City, or going south to Talisay City. You're supposed to stay in the city. There were a number of shoppers at Landers, which isn't very far from Ayala Mall, and as my friend was carrying goods home, one of the checkpoints by the military, she chatted with them, and they asked if they could supply her with a ride home, would she be willing? And she said yes. And she waited around for a while, and she finally decided no ride was coming, so she decided to walk. And they told her, well, don't complain about the kind of ride you get. So it might have been in the back of a police or military vehicle, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they are very busy doing whatever they're doing, perhaps offering rides and help where they can. She also said the military was in Landers buying up a lot of rice, perhaps for their military base, also in an effort to distribute it out to the various barangays and villages, perhaps. And here's the inside of Landers. And they have the chairs. They only allow so many in at a time. Chairs are spaced out a couple meters apart. You sit there, and a couple people keeping track of that. You sit there until they give you the go-ahead to go up. It took her about 20 minutes sitting in the chair to go ahead and be let in the store. And they only allow a certain number of people in the store at any given time. And then I got to hand it to her. I asked her if she enjoyed walking, and her comment was, because she knows that I walk a lot, and she walked about 3 kilometers at least. Perhaps she took a long way back, perhaps even 4 kilometers. So it's about 6 or 7 kilometers total. That's one way, 3 kilometers. And she's also walked down to Carbone Market, which is another 3 kilometers, so another 6 or 7 kilometers round trip. And her comment was, it's no choice, but she isn't complaining. And she's been carrying the groceries home, and a couple of those bags were relatively heavy, so I must hand it to her and other Filipinos who are going out to do what they must do. Going out to buy the groceries, take care of business. We haven't seen any shortage of food, though. I think the grocery stores, from everything that I've read and seen, I think the markets, and I'm doing another one in a day or two about Carbone Market, there seemed to be quite a bit of food down there. I think even the supply chain for food in most cases is pretty good. I think there's food out for 3+ months, and they're expecting a good rice harvest in Mindanao, which supplies a lot of rice, and probably other parts. Also, I read an article today, getting seed in some areas. Some of the checkpoints are not allowing the seed in. It's important to put that rice seed in right now, early, because we are in our dry season for a couple months, and they want to get it planted before the wet season, which usually starts about the middle of June in much of the Philippines. And it doesn't mean that it rains every day. It doesn't mean that it rains a lot when it does rain, but it means that we get more rain more often than we do in the dry season. And even though they may call it the southwest monsoon, uh, monsoon is not really the proper word, I don't think, because it's not like the rain. It just comes and keeps coming. Anyway, I'm working on a few other videos that I think you'll be interested in. That is taking a little bit more research than I expected. Have those coming up. And here you have the Mandarin Hotel and the Quest Hotel right across the street there. Very nice hotels. I've done videos on each of them. And then you have the Park Lane just behind them. You have the Park Lane Hotel I've done a video about as well. So please check out some of my 600 other videos I've taken in the last 4 years. My friend doing the video here, she's been approached. She's taken 3 or 4 walks in the last week or two, and she's been approached by a number of foreigners on those walks, and very friendly foreigners have invited her over to their place.
Hello.
And anyway, she's turned them down, and I told her, you really need to take the camera out and do an interview when you have those opportunities. So we'll see what the future holds here. That would be interesting to find out. Interview some of the foreigners that are out and about and find out what they're doing here, if they're stuck here, if they're living here long term. So we'll see if she will do that in the future. But she turned down the dates anyway, she tells me. Anyway, all quiet on the eastern front over here. Off to the left, we're going around the other side of the Ayala Mall. Metro is the grocery store that's open there. And they are rebuilding, renewing, and remodeling that building on the left you see there under construction. That burned down, about 2 years ago, I think. And I did a video about that, the Metro fire, and I've done a couple videos about the rebuilding process. And now here over on Raman Street, that is normally the shortcut. People walk, and I don't like it. It's too narrow a street. I like to walk on a street with a sidewalk as much as possible. But that is much shorter to go that way, and it is blocked off unless you have reason to be in that community, part of the quarantine. And she asked the security guy down here if she was able to walk down that street, and he said he did not have an answer. He did not know the answer to that. Palawan shop there, it's one of those money transfer places, as well as you can you can get a loan by giving them your different goods, your assets. I believe Palawan, they're all over the Philippines. I usually use Lou Hillier when I send myself money. Lou Hillier. Use Zoom services, ZOOM. They're owned by PayPal. I've used Remitly in the past. I tried to use World Remit, and they sent me my 1,000, and 2 seconds later they said they canceled the order. Called customer service, which was in the Philippines, and they wouldn't tell me why they canceled it. A lot of fraud in the money transfer service, I think. So that is just part of the hassle in doing business when you're overseas. Anyway, what is your situation? It could be worse. I read some Thailand news last night, and they said there were lots of people trying to get out of the country. They were at the airport waiting for a flight out, and Thailand stopped all flights coming in. So the flight that they were waiting for wasn't allowed in. So they just shut everything down for a couple of days so they could disinfect the airport. I think Vietnam has shut everything down, not allowing. But if you're stuck in the country, they are extending your visas just like they are giving us that 30 days past the lifting of the quarantine to renew. Safe travels. Stay healthy and sane. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.